creating this short video to demonstrate how it's possible to create custom Diewalls, nurses stations, cash wraps, those kinds of elements within woodCAD CAM. I'm going to begin by creating a new object designer article, and just by selecting on that, now we see that we can be working in various views to be able to tie things together. So I'll begin with a side view segment. And so when creating a side view segment, it's really as simple as clicking, any place in AutoCAD and then utilizing, an AutoCAD command for different distances or lengths of segments. In this case, I'll make the first segment at 42. Just as an example, we'll come over at 8, and I want to come down 10 inches. I want to go in 2 inches, down 4 inches for a reveal, back out 2 inches, and then we'll come down, in this particular case, at 22 inches, and we'll come in 4 inches, and we'll complete what we're doing here as we get down to the bottom of this. And so we'll tell this that we want it to be at 6, and we'll complete our sections. So by hitting the Enter key, we now have a side view segment of the way that this Diewall is going to work. So from the outside of it, on the customer side, we'll have not only a toe kick, but we also have a reveal. In this case, we'll be thinking about some sort of extrusion going into that. The wall can be relatively complex, any shape that you can imagine creating, including tapers and all kinds of things. The first command that I want to use in the creation of this is to help me get another polyline that we would be utilizing to be the vertical members as we're going to be working around whatever shape that we would create. And so in this case, I'm going to use an AutoCAD command, if you see my command line, called boundary. And so it's going to just allow me to pick inside of an area. So I clicked in that one time, and now it's going to make a polyline of that interior shape. And so we'll see that that polyline was created. You could also just draw a polyline by picking and choosing the different segments that you want to go on and adding, other interesting shapes to the feature. But for this demonstration, I think that that will serve the purpose of what we need. Let's go ahead at this case and decide what kind of a shape that our Diewall is going to be. And so I'm going to use the polyline command, and what I'm going to do is just give this some dimensional information. Let's say that we want to go over 80 and down 78, and we want to finish off in an arc. And so I'll just pick a second point here, and we'll tell this that we've got the station that's going to be shaped approximately like this. So that makes it pretty nice and easy to understand, I think, that what we're trying to do is to get this kind of a shape around this kind of an object. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a top view segment. And in this case, it's not incredibly important the size of it, but what is important is because we understand that this is going to represent how studs are going to be placed around it, that we position it correctly. And because what we actually have, if we did a distance, in this case, if we looked at a distance from here to here, we would see in the delta X that it's 3/4 of an inch material that we're choosing in this stage. So what I actually want to do is I want to take this, and I'm going to say, here's my base point, and I'm going to move it at 0.75. So now it knows that it's going to live in that kind of a distance. I'm also going to use a AutoCAD command, if you notice my command screen in AutoCAD, called array. And I'll select this object, and of my choices, I'm going to choose path. And so PA is what path is. And so I'm going to select the polyline that we created. And so now you'll see that it's arraying around this. I can grab this gripper, and now I can give it a distance, like, for example, 16-inch centers. And so now I have studs placed. These, in this particular case, these are just placeholders of what we're doing. So they could be copied. They could be moved. You can do whatever it is that you might want to do with them, and they're all good. Because we're going to want to work individually with these, I'm going to use another AutoCAD command that is called explode in this case. and so I'm just going to select on these, and now I've exploded them, so now they're individual entities. They still have all the right tools and stuff, but I can work with them on an individual basis as we're dealing with these kind of things. So what might we do next? Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is I want to be able to hide an element, and I just want to hide this top section in this case so that I can access this polyline. Now I'm going to say that I want to create parts from two views. Sorry, if you ever get that command, you can select on the globe and then on this object, and so I'll say now I want to create a part from two views, and so now I'm going to select on that polyline, and I'm going to window around these top view segments. And so now that I have them all selected, it's going to come back and say, hey, we have some of these things, and so we've made 15 of these, and I'll say OK to this. And just so that you're seeing what is happening, I'll flip to a southwest view for just a moment, and now you'll see that we've placed all of these studs and stuff. So now the next thing that we want to be able to do is I'm going to go ahead and tell this that I want to show all the elements, and I'm going to tell this that I want to make parts from two views. So I'll select these elements, and I'll select this particular line, and so now you'll see that we have these additional parts that are going to be extruded around this. We'll say OK, and now I need to create an insertion point, so I'll say insert a new point, and I'm going to go pick this bottom back corner. Very good. And so if we looked at this again from a southwest view, what we'll now see is that we have built this custom die wall with all the studs and pieces and all of those things involved in it as well. So this is a basic demonstration of what can be done. This can become far more complex in shapes and anything that you want, but just in a very short amount of time you have machine-ready data. I mean, this is absolutely right at the moment. Ready to go to cut listing, to go to G-code generation, to nesting, reporting, all of those things, just like any other object within woodCAD CAM. Anyway, this concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed it.